Good day, grade 11 students. This is Sir Peter, your general mathematics teacher. So, how's everyone today? I hope you're all doing great and ready to learn something that you can actually use not just in the math class but also in real life. So, let me ask you, have you ever wondered how we describe typical things around us, like the average score in your exam, the usual daily allowance of the students, or even the most common shoe size sold in the store? So today, we'll explore on how numbers can tell a story, how we can find what's normal or usual from a group of data. So welcome to our lesson 6.2, understanding measures of central tendency. So this topic will help you understand how to summarize large sets of data into one meaningful value. So to give you an overview of our learning competencies, our target is to identify the appropriate measures of central tendency and variability for different kinds of data and in different purposes as well. So we will use different technologies, appropriate technologies, but in this case, we will just focus on the use of the calculator to calculate the measures of central tendency and variability. And number three, we will interpret and compute measures of central tendency and variability. So by the end of this lesson, we should be able to decide which measure, especially the mean, the median, or the mode, is the best type of central tendency that represents a given set of data. So for our specific learning objectives for today, we will just focus on the measures of central tendency. So we will identify the appropriate measures of central tendency. We will use appropriate technologies such as a calculator to calculate the measures of central tendency. And lastly, we will interpret the computed measures of central tendency. So, are you ready to receive 3M? Okay, look at is this the 3M that I am referring to? Don't get too excited, it's not 3 million, but rather we are going to talk about the 3 M's of statistics, and they are the mean, the median, and the mode. So it's a prank. So when we talk about the measures of central tendency, they are statistical tools used to describe the center or typical value of a set of data. And they provide us a single value that represents the entire distribution, allowing us to make generalizations, comparisons, and informed decisions based on data. So let's talk about the three most common measures. We have the mean, the median, and the mode. So the mean is very popular as the average, while the median is the middle value when the data is ordered. And the mode is the most frequently occurring value. So to discuss individually, let's focus on the mean. So the mean is the sum of all values divided by the number of values. For its application, it is used when data is uniform and free from extreme values, commonly used for computing grades, temperatures, and performance averages. So this is more popular as average. The formula in getting the mean is, for the ungrouped data, we have x bar is equal to the summation of all the observations of x divided by the total number of data or observations. So this is very common because you always use this in getting your average scores or average grade. Whenever you wanted to know if you are with honors, with high honors, or with highest honors, you always are interested in getting the average grade. So you are actually applying this in the real world as well. So let's have practical application. So the quiz of 8 learners in a 10-item quiz are 9, 8, 7, 10, 9, 8, 6, 10. So how do we get the mean of the scores? So to get the mean, we will add all the summation, or we get the summation of all the observed values. 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus 6 plus 10 divided by the 8 learners. So the average will be 8.38. So you may check that one using your scientific calculators. Of course, it's also very important that you know how to interpret, how to get the mean correctly. So on average, the learner scored about 8.38. So since the scores are close to each other, then the mean effectively represents the class performance. So that's just very easy, right? Let's move now to the median. So the median is the middle value when the data is arranged in order. I think you've done this one during your junior high school mathematics. So you will just arrange the numbers in ascending order. That's the usual way. So this is best used when data has outliers or extreme scores. It means that they're too high or too low. So, say for example, look at this set of data. So the scores are 45, 48, 50, 50, 50, 52, 55. And observe that 97 and 100 are very high values. So the perfect measure to use here is the median because of the presence of the outliers 97 and 100. So their score is very high or a high extreme. So to get the median, we get the middle value after you arrange them. But in this case, it's already arranged properly. So since we have 9 learners, so we will have 9 divided by 2 to get the position. So that's 9 divided by 2. That's 4.5. Round it up and we get the fifth position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the fifth position. So therefore, the middle value or the median is 50. So for the interpretation, even though two students scored very high, such as 97 and 100, the median gives a fair picture of the typical performance of the learners. So it's not affected. Okay, the real representation of the overall performance is not affected by the extreme values 97 and 100. So in the first given example, observe that the data set is odd. Okay. But what about if you have 8 learners only? So you'll have two middle values, right? So if you have two middle values, then how do you answer this one? Because if you have 8 divided by 2, so that's fourth position. But we have two middle values. The fifth position is also a middle value, right? So both 50 and 50. So if you have an even set of numbers, you have to get the average of the two numbers. So 50 plus 50 divided by 2. And of course, the average is still 50. If in case that it has a decimal, then the median becomes a decimal. So don't forget that if you have an even set of values, so it means you have to get the average of the two middle values. So the median remains unaffected by the extreme score, which is 97. Okay? Any question? Now let's move to the most frequent value represented by the mode. Okay? So the mode is the value that appears most frequently in a given data set. So this is best used for categorical data or when identifying the most common item, which is very important. Let's have this practical example. So the shirt sizes sold in a store in 1 week is medium, large, medium, XL, medium, small, large, and medium. Getting their tallies. So we have one for a small t-shirt, L. We have large t-shirts is two. For the medium sizes, we have four, and for XL, we have one. So obviously, the mode is the medium size. So the most sold shirt size is medium. This is very useful for store inventory planning. And of course, if you are a business um, owner, you would stock a lot of medium sizes because you are expecting that many would buy medium sizes. Okay? So if you have your own business, it's also very important that you know how to um stock which items are most commonly sold, so that you could sustain profit. Now let's find the mode of the following data. Look at the set of data. Just look at which value appears most. So in this case, in the given example, observe. Here's the answer. This is unimodal. It means it has only one mode because the number 33 appeared three times in the data set. Okay, so therefore that's the most common value. So this example is considered unimodal. What about this one? Which do you think appeared the most? Very good. So they are 29 and 32. So observe that 29 appeared thrice in the given set of data as well as 32. 32 also appeared twice. So this is considered bimodal. So it's possible that you could have two modes, and we call these as bimodal. Is it also possible to have three modes? Yes, you will be calling it as a trimodal. Okay, having a lot or three or more would mean a multimodal. So there are different possibilities for as long as they will have the same frequencies. Okay, and it should be the highest frequency. Observe letter C. Is there a common value with a given set of data? Obviously, there is none. Very good. So the answer will be no mode. So if it's a unimodal, a bimodal, and a trimodal is possible, of course, it's also possible that the given set of data has no mode. So I hope you got this one correctly. Now, let's think about this and let's think critically. So, a grade 7 class has students aged mostly like 16 years old to 17 years old. But what if one of the students, Lola Poring, is already 76 years old? So, which measure of central tendency best describes the class age? Very good. Since we have the presence of an outlier, then the median is the best measure. Okay? Because the mean would be affected by Lola Poring's age, which is an outlier. while the median accurately represents the typical student age. So we cannot use the mean here. Mode, it's difficult to identify which is the mode because there are two possibilities such as 16 and 17. So still, the median is the best so that the result will not be affected by Lola Poring's age. So we know that the median will not be distorted because Lola Poring's age will appear on the highest extreme. So it's impossible that you will encircle that one as the middle value. Okay? Now let's check for understanding. Let's apply number one, study hours. Our given data set is 3, 5, 4, 6, 2, 5, and 5 hours respectively. So what is our mean, median, and the mode? So to get the mean, you have to add 3 plus 5 plus 4 plus 6 plus 2 plus 5 plus 5 and then divided by 7. What's your answer? So correct in two decimal places, that is 4.29. What about the median? So we have to arrange. Okay, let's arrange the given set of data: 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6. And then since we have 7, so 7 over 2, our data set is odd. So that's 3.5. So we are getting the fourth position. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So therefore our median is 5 or the middle value is 5. For the mode, we just get which is the most common score, and obviously the most common score is 5. So again, here's the final answers. The mean is 4.29 hours. The median is 5 hours. And the mode is 5 hours. So for the interpretation, Sarah typically studies about 5 hours a day. But in the mean, 4.29, that's close to that value, which is 5 hours. So still, that still works. Let's move now to our checking for understanding number 2, talking about the daily allowance. So the number of hours a group of students spend on social media in one day are. So we wanted to know what's the mean, the median, and the mode of the number of hours spent in social media. So again, to get the mean, we'll add 2, it's x bar is equal to the summation of x over n. So you have to divide add everything using your scientific calculator. Then you'd have to divide it by the total number of data set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's divided by 9. What's your answer? Very good. The answer is 4. For the median, you have to arrange the values. Ascending order. 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we still miss one. 1, 2, we have 2, 4, 3, 5, and then 6. Okay, so we have completed it. So since we have a data set which is 9, so 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. So it means we're getting the fifth position, okay, by rounding it up. So the fifth position is 4. Again, the median is 4. For the mode, it's obviously that 5 is the most common value, 5 hours. So the mode is 5 hours. So again, the mean is 4 hours, the median is 4 hours, and the mode is 5 hours. Now let's proceed now to our interpretation. So Typically, students spends around 4 to 5 hours daily on social media, given our given three M's, which is 4, and 5, respectively. Now let's check our understanding. Number 3, let's talk about the daily allowance. So our data set is 100, 120, 80 pesos, 150 pesos, 120, and 130 pesos. Let's find the mean of the values. So again, we add 100 plus 120. Get your calculators. 80 plus 150 plus 120 plus 130 divided by 6. Okay? So we divide by 6. That's how you get the mean. So did you get 116 and 67 centavos? Okay, 116 pesos and 67 centavos. Using your calculators, you would get that mean. And to get the median, obviously the median, let's arrange 80, 100, 120, 120, 130, and a 150. So again, the middle value. This is even set of data. So 6 over 2 is third position, including the fourth position. So both positions, third and fourth. We get the average, 120 plus 120 divided by 2. Obviously, it's 240 over 2. So it's still 120. So that's your median. And of course, your mode will also be 120 because 120 appeared twice in the set of data. So again, the mean is 116 and 67 centavos. We have 120 pesos and the mode is 120 pesos. So for the interpretation, so we say that 120 is the most typical allowance. Okay? So that's how we interpret this given set of data. So for better understanding, please answer activity number 1, finding 3 M's. You solve this one using your in your reflect your answers on your GenMath notebook. Can you try the following? You solve for each item, you have to find the mean, the median, and the mode given those data sets. Okay? So will just be very easy. Again, how do you get the mean? You have to add everything divided by the total number of data sets or observations. Okay? Then to get the median, you just arrange them from lowest to highest in ascending order. You can also do it the other way, but let's do it ascending order. Okay? And then you get the middle values. If it's an odd data set, then it's very easy to get the middle value. But if it's an even data set, you have to get the average of the two middle values. And of course, we will also answer activity number 2, understanding 3 M's through the use of problem solving. So you have to compute and interpret the 3 M's in real life context like spending, allowance, or study time. So before we end, let's reflect. Did you learn something for today? So now you know that when we talk about average or typical in real life, whether it's grades, allowance, or time spent on social media, we're really talking about measures of central tendency. Remember that the mean is the average, the median is the middle value, and the mode is the most common or the most frequent score. So good job, everyone. Next time, we'll explore on lesson 6.3, understanding the measures of variability, where we'll see how data spreads out or varies. So see you on the next lesson. Keep your mean clean, your median balance, and your mode in the right mood. So again, this is Sir Peter, your general mathematics teacher. Bye.